It's called When You Shatter a Shonen Hero. Okay, let's see what this is about.
The Black Chapter. It's a highly classified record of humanity's darkest side, kept locked away in the underworld's giant library.
Yu Yu Hakusho,
The tape
okay.
contains thousands of hours of the most atrocious crimes committed by humans throughout
Events.
history.
Oh my
One of the
God.
qualities of a shonen hero is their unwavering optimism. No matter how hard things get, or what they experience in one way or another, they choose to believe in the good in others and the beautiful things in the world,
Okay.
undeterred by the evil they see inflicted upon others or themselves. That's what makes them heroes, their ability to inspire. But what if you could show one of the aforementioned heroes all of the worst evils ever committed by humanity? Hours upon hours of footage of the most vile acts, like gas being over $4 a gallon.
Facts.
Because one thing is
Facts,
to hear
man,
and
you
read
that
of
nigga,
said
facts.
evils, and it's a whole other thing to see it with your own two eyes, let alone be there in person for the absolute worst of the worst. Taking the thing that makes them heroic, and now they have to confront the thought that they were defending the real monsters.
Okay.
While painting that picture puts things into frame, I want to ask it in a way that really puts you in the painting itself, in the right headspace for the discussion of this video. If you, yes you, became aware of how truly depraved humans could be, and it wasn't a conspiracy, but it was all laid out for you, confirming those at the top only care about satiating their perverse bloodlusted desires, what would you do? I'm sure some might say nothing, or wonder what can I do? But say not only do you have the evidence, but you also have the power to bring about justice. How would you execute it?
Okay, that's a good question. So if you had the power and you seen unjust being done all of the time, how would you react? Uh I feel like, stay with me. I feel like no matter how much power you have, it's gonna always be some injustice going on down the line. So can you save everything and everybody? Do you pick and choose what do you save? I guess you gotta try, right? Like I guess you have to try. I guess you gotta try to save if you have the power to save, right? I guess you gotta try. Or you can just be on some shit to where you just like, whatever, I'm not helping anybody as long as I'm good with myself. I feel like that's the worst way to be, but I mean, some people choose that route. But anyway, let's go.
This question of morality, of how one views all of humanity when taking into account the good and evil, is something explored in Togashi's breakout series, Yu Yu Hakusho.
My
After
favorite,
writing what many consider
my
to be the
favorites.
best tournament arc in anime, the Dark Tournament arc, exploring a villain that contends with what humanity is not capable of via Togoro,
People sleep on Yu Yu Hakusho, man. This is, I mean, people don't sleep on it, but I just want like I guess the newer generation to like realize how good this is. Like, I don't know if it is, but this is like the first, I want to say, tournament arc that I've ever seen in anime, the Dark Tournament. Um, well, maybe Dragon Ball, maybe the Dragon Ball tournaments with Goku and shit. It's like they like neck and neck. They like neck and neck. I want to say I seen Yu Yu Hakusho first, but maybe Goku. I don't know. I think I went back and watched Dragon Ball after I was watching because like Dragon Ball Z and Yu Yu Hakusho was like coming on at the same time during those, those Toonami days back in the day when you would watch Cartoon Network and Toonami would come on and they had the lineup Yu Yu Hakusho, Dragon Ball Z. They had Gundam in there. Man, we should watch some of those sometime, y'all. Y'all let me know in the comments. But anyway, yeah, I think this might be the first tournament arc I've ever seen in an anime.
Togashi explores what humanity is capable of in the equally good Chapter Black arc, with what I consider to be his best villain in a stacked roster of contenders. It's close. The Dark Angel, Shinobu Sensui.
Yeah,
but first,
he was
a
a
word from
problem.
today's sponsor.
It was a problem.
So I've been playing NT recently, and the first thing that stood out to me was how much effort went into the city. A lot of open world games say the world is immersive, but there's actually a ton going on.
This looks like a beautiful game. I don't know what it is, y'all.
Interactions, changing weather, public
Let's do what we came from.
To understand the Sensui we meet at the start of Chapter Black, I believe the context of his character for the turning point lays out everything. Quote, a former underworld detective, eh? How did it happen? Why did he turn against humanity? His sense of justice was coupled with stubbornness. Demons are evil incarnate. They should be eradicated. Sensui was born with a powerful sixth sense. Demons and evil spirits had tried to eliminate him since he was a kid. Demons were his enemy, and thus humanity's enemy for as long as he could remember. And something happened that changed his perspective. I sent him on a mission that turned out to be his last. The objective was to close a portal to the demon plane, but on a smaller scale, just a small summoning circle about 10 meters across to invoke lesser demons. It was created by the Black Book Club, a massive smuggling organization trading creatures of all kinds. The summoned demons were captured and sold for enormous sums of money.
Okay,
We received
so they selling
of a pending
demons.
transaction at a mountain villa and sent in Sensui and his partner Itsuki. But then Sensui saw something unfortunate. Bitter truth of a kind, nothing less
What?
than an inhumane cesspool of evil.
He found a
Humans torturing demons to satisfy their heinous appetites.
Oh
It
my
was the total
god.
antithesis of Sensui's
Wow.
values. Sensui went on a rampage, slaughtering everyone. Sensui? No humans here, Itsuki. Not one. He began to nurture an obsession with the Black Chapter and to question humanity
That's crazy, y'all. It was the
In
exact
hindsight,
opposite.
his sense of justice may have been too strong. He could not let any evil he perceived go
It was the exact opposite. Instead of demons torturing humans, it was the vice versa. That's crazy, y'all.
unpunished. He now sees evil in the entire human race and seeks to make it pay for its sins.
Wow.
Defining quality of Sensui's, what is his greatest
Was
attribute,
he human?
serving as a double-edged sword, his intense sense of right and wrong. If I took this image and simply made it 2 colors, and then told you to remove one because it's a stain, a good chunk of it would go missing. But if we were to return the color and tell you once again to remove the stain, a more accurate removal can be done. We can have our opinions and initial reactions when it comes
What
to
does that
evil
mean,
and
Master Man?
injustice and how it should be handled. With enough exposure to evil, one can grow to be misanthropic. But when in the seat of judge and executioner, having someone that is incapable of viewing humanity in its whole and no gray area whatsoever is an extreme danger. Quote, the capacity for evil
That
is
nigga
but
be
one
chillin' though,
ingredient
y'all.
in the human soul. However, what makes Sensui as a character extremely interesting is that despite the extreme his character resides in, part of it is understandable. No person would remain the same after seeing what he did. But one thing is to witness evil, and another thing is to have your foundation as a person be completely torn from under you. Because at first, we see Sensui as the leader of a group of killers.
Right.
But then we learn he was the former spirit detective. Sensui
Oh, yeah.
is much like a soldier, fed the stories given to him to stand up and fight for his country. Add on top of this, his own personal experiences. So like a good soldier boy, he
So was he the spirit detective before Yusuke Urameshi?
runs into battle and does things in the name of what he believes is right, only to suffer the effects of war and what it does to the psyche, and at the same time realize that he is not on the right side. One of the most devastating experiences one can go through is the realization that everything you held sacred, your guiding star and moral compass, is not what you once thought it was, as if you took the most devout Christian and confirmed with certainty that there is no God, or took the most devout atheist and showed them that there is. Togashi took someone who made their entire life the fight against evil and had their floor taken out from under
He was
them.
doing it as a kid.
While Sensui is a specific extreme case in that regard, the overall importance of a person's morals and ethics and how deeply embedded it is in the makeup of a person's psyche is an important thing
Damn,
to discuss.
Yusuke.
And this is a rather long passage from Professor R.J. Starr, but bear with me. Quote, psychologists have studied moral development for decades, and one of the most well-known theories comes from Lawrence Kohlberg. He proposed that we progress through different stages of moral reasoning. At the most basic level, we make decisions based on rewards and punishments, what gets us praise and what gets us in trouble. But as we grow, our sense of morality becomes more abstract. We start considering social norms, legal principles, and eventually personal ethical codes that transcend what society tells us.
As we get older,
What's
this is what
interesting
happens.
is that not everyone reaches those higher levels of moral reasoning. Many people get stuck in the stage where right and wrong are simply what's approved or punished by authority. And that's where psychology and ethics gets complicated. Because if you've been conditioned to believe something is good or bad based purely on external rules, you may never critically examine those beliefs for yourself. Take, for example, the work of Jonathan Haidt, who proposed moral foundations theory. Haidt found that different cultures and even different political ideologies prioritize moral values differently. Some
That's
people
true.
are more focused on principles like fairness and harm avoidance, while others place a higher value on loyalty, authority, or purity. And this is where we start to see the ethical disagreements not as logical debates, but as deeply ingrained psychological responses. Let me tell you about a time I personally had to confront my own moral reasoning. When I was younger, I was put in a situation where I had to choose between loyalty and honesty.
Right.
I had a close friend who made a serious mistake, something that, if revealed, would have had major consequences. But keeping it secret felt like a violation of my own integrity. I remember agonizing over it. Do I protect a friend, or do I know what is right? And here's what struck me. My decision wasn't just about ethics in an abstract sense, it was about my identity, who I saw myself as, and that's something we often forget.
Yeah, that's true,
Ethics
man.
isn't just about rules, it's about how we construct our very sense of self, and that's why ethical conflicts can feel so deeply personal. When someone challenges our moral stance, it's not just an intellectual debate, it feels like they're questioning who we are. This is one of the reasons
I feel like you still supposed to hold that shit down though, even if it is if it's a friend. You get what I'm saying? Unless it's something like deeply disturbing or something that they did like horribly wrong that you would like you couldn't come back from type shit. But like if it was like just something simple, I feel like you should have your friends back. But if it's something that's like got seriously damaging consequences and it's something that implies that someone else has been a victim of something that your friend did and he did it out of malicious intent, I feel like maybe then should you waver on your honesty and integrity. But if not that, hold it down for your friend, bro. I ain't gonna lie, hold that shit down.
ethical disagreements,
Oh, my bad, y'all.
especially in today's world of social media and political tribalism, can get so heated. But before we move on, I want you to think about this. How did you come to believe what you believe about right and wrong? Did you actively question and develop those beliefs? Or did they come from somewhere else? Your upbringing, your religion, your political environment? And if you had to change one of your moral positions, how would that feel? Because next, we're going to talk about why some beliefs
That's deep, y'all. That's some deep shit, y'all. That's that deep. That's deep as fuck. Like, how did you come up with your theory on right and wrong? Like, I want to know y'all in the chat. How did y'all come up with that? Me, I want to say probably maybe about 20% of it was probably like upbringing that I know right from wrong. Like, I know right from wrong from like on some childhood shit where your parents tell you, hey, don't do that. Hey, do this and blah, 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 blah. But the rest, I feel like comes from society and being out amongst people and just like coming to your own conclusions about shit. I didn't know why. I don't know why this episode got so deep all of a sudden. I thought we was this is some deep shit. But anyway, yeah, we got deep for a moment. Let's continue,
so
y'all.
rigid, why
Mass
we
Man be
cling
having
to
me
dogma,
come. Yeah,
even
I
when
mean,
faced with
pause.
evidence
That
that
pause
suggests
on that shit.
we might be wrong. Stay with me, this is where it gets really interesting. This is where Professor RJ Starr gets into part 2, the comfort of dogma and why we cling to beliefs. It's really fascinating and you could check him over on Psychology of Us, but I wanted to give the entirety of the context before he enters this, since this first section of part 2 really fits with what we see with Sensui.
Okay, Mass
Quote,
Man, cook.
so if our sense of ethics is shaped by our upbringing, culture, and psychological development, then why do some people cling so fiercely to their moral beliefs, even in the face of overwhelming evidence that challenges them? That's where dogma comes in. Dogma is a belief or set of beliefs that people accept as absolutely true without question. It's often associated with religion, but it can be found anywhere. Politics,
Snitching.
science, even personal philosophies. It gives people a framework, a clear guide for how to navigate the world. But psychologically, dogma isn't about having strong convictions.
Is
It's
the
about
streets
certainty,
dead, y'all?
and certainty is a powerful drug. When we
It
know
should be.
something,
It
when
should
we
be
feel
if it's not.
completely
I'm
sure
not even
that our
gonna lie.
beliefs are correct, we don't have to wrestle with doubt. We
Cause
don't
then
have to
you would be
navigate the
down
anxiety
like
of
this nigga
ambiguity.
crying on your
And that
knees.
in itself is a form of psychological relief. One of the best explanations for this comes from terror management theory, which was developed by social psychologists Sheldon Solomon, Jeff Greenberg, and
fuck?
Tom Pazinski. Their research suggests that much of human behavior, including our moral certainty, stems from a deep, often unconscious fear of death. Think about it. If you accept that everything is uncertain, that right and wrong are fluid, that the world is complex and unpredictable, that's unsettling. But if you have an unshakable belief system, a religious faith, a political ideology, even a rigid
I don't think that's unsettling. I feel like that's how I view the world, and I'm pretty settled with it now. I feel like nowadays people know that most of this shit is almost it's like the world's gone mad, it's gone crazy. And I think most people know that now. And I don't think it's on a mass hysteria level, like people are gonna just like start being like, what the fuck are we gonna do? I think people have just accepted it, and we still got bills and shit to pay out. We still got things to do. We still got bills to pay, kids to take care of. We're not worried about whether the world we are, but it's like they put so much shit in front of us now that we don't even really have time to focus on morality. You get what I'm saying? Like we got to make sure all of this stuff is done so we can try to live a life that is, I want to say it, as comfortable as our means can provide us. You get what I'm saying? So I mean, I don't think that would shake people up.
Personal code, it gives you something solid to hold on to. It gives life meaning and structure. This is why
For some
challenging
people.
someone's deeply held beliefs can feel like a personal attack. It's
Yeah.
not just an intellectual disagreement. It's a threat to their worldview, their identity, and sometimes their very sense of existential security.
Okay.
So what happens when you take a shonen hero and completely dismantle their sense of right and wrong, their sense of self? Because in this case, this isn't one of those things like, oh, this is what the news reported, and somebody could say, well, that's not real, that information isn't true, the denying the sources tactic. They are there in person to witness it for themselves. They shatter.
Right.
A total mental collapse. In Sensui's case, that demonstrates itself in 7 personalities. One of my
He got
favorite
7
things about
personalities?
Togashi's writing when it comes to his best villains is the way he throws a curveball later on to add a whole new layer to the character. Sensui is first revealed as a mastermind wishing death of all humans. Then he is someone with a binary sense of justice. But right as the fight between him and Yusuke becomes more intense, we then learn that he's somebody that could not handle the horrors he witnessed. His universe was cut and dry, black and white. Demons were evil, so he had to destroy them, and that's when he saw what changed him. Gray. Truckloads of gray. Now, it would have been nice to see more of these personalities, given we only see 3 in action, and one is mentioned as Itsuki's favorite. Yeah, whatever you're thinking, yes, 100%, and it's, in my opinion, underrated. Those of you that be doing the fan art, get on it. I don't see enough of it. However, I attribute the lack of information on the others to Togashi wanting to finish the series, since he was close to throwing himself off of a cliff near the end of Dark Tournament arc, and also to not affect the pacing of the arc too much. Regardless, the point of Sensui, or the lead one, Shinobu, needing to remain pure by creating new selves to protect the original one gets across, and ultimately that's what matters. I would have liked to have seen more, and ultimately the final stretch of Yu Yu Hakusho is a whole lot of stuff I wish we would have gotten to see more of, but he made up with it with like 400 some chapters of Hunter x Hunter, but fingers crossed that gets an ending. After the
did the same guy, so did the guy make Hunter x Hunter? The guy that made Yu Yu Hakusho made Hunter x Hunter, y'all? Why is all my screen going wonky? I was only trying to pause.
We finally get to meet the actual Shinobu, polite but still firm in his belief in gold. And another one of the aspects of his dialogue that I really enjoyed was the need to specify that he doesn't hate the world. You fool, you are as blind as the rest. Again, sorry. I love the world. Its air and its sky, its flowers and animals. But I despise its humans.
How many of us can relate to that? How many of us can relate to that right now at this moment, bro? How many of us can relate to that?
Some pretty crazy stuff happens with Sensui apparently having holy aura and being strong as an S-class demon and killing Yusuke, but Yusuke actually being part demon. I delve into this more, and Yusuke in particular as a character in my main Yu Yu Hakusho video. I'm really proud of that one. Go check it out. But all this leads to one of my least favorite design transformation in shonen, and also one of my favorite and most conflicting deaths, when Yusuke is taken over by his demon form and kills Sensui. His time has come. He had 2 weeks left anyways. He suffers from aggressive malignant tumors.
Wow.
Dr. Kamiya diagnosed him. A normal human would have died of the condition long ago. Yeah, I'm sorry, it's not...
Is he laughing?
It's not funny, but it is a tad bit comical that this guy who's strong enough to... He can kick around spirit energy like a soccer ball, is strong enough as a human to rival an S-class demon, achieved a form of aura that would have taken an ungodly amount of time that Koenma couldn't even do. Like,
Cooked in.
he can fly. He can basically fly. But cancer is what does it. Again, not
Yeah,
that
that
any of
is
this
fucking
discredits
crazy.
this whole
Like,
video, but it is a
that's
little.
true.
Anyways, your seal ring. I had to deal with that. Get you to waste your aura before you use the ring. But why? Why did you want the portal? I wanted to reach the demon plane. That's all. When I was a child, I wondered about many things. Why are there creatures only I can see? Why do they hate me? Why are they always trying to kill me? I learned to fight them, but I never got answers to those questions. I must be a chosen warrior of justice. They must be evil forces out to harm mankind. My simplistic dualism. So naive, slaughtering those creatures. I got used to the carnage. I believed there was good and evil, that wars were fought between the evil and the just. Such thinking was easy, but it was wrong. Humans know nothing of justice.
Wow.
I hated that failing, and that I shared in it. I yearned for a heritage from the demon plane. That yearning drew me, called me, commanded me. When I found out I had little time left, I felt a strange liberation. The barrier tunnel was my little gift to the demonic realm. All I wanted was to die here.
Wow.
You truly reveled in our fight. So did I, if only for a moment. Thank you. Next time, let me be reborn.
Right, bring him back, brother.
One could argue that Sensui's intense desire to wipe out humanity was an attempt to overcorrect the life he lived before. That one's pretty explicit, but in the most ironic sense, he was someone who spent his whole life killing demons, only to wish to be killed by one in their home as a form of justice. His last word being the species he was once devoted to wipe out. On top of his absolute sense of justice, the guilt he felt for killing so many, only to learn that it was all an artificial struggle. More on that in a moment. It's worth noting also that a character like this wasn't really a thing at the time in anime and manga, at least not in the shonen demographic. Nowadays, the idea of deconstructing and subverting what heroes and villains are has been a wrung-out towel. But for a story of this time to take a darker turn and provide a character that only has aged better as time has passed is impressive. What makes Sensui intriguing isn't just his personality and all of the twists and turns, but the plethora of discussions that can be brought up when talking about his character. Earlier, we looked at the psychology of a person and how foundational morality is in making up the structure of their psyche. It makes sense that someone who has that as their main thing would suffer immensely to the point of it shattering their psyche into 7 different people. The evil of the world and the strain it can have on the mind of a person, which again has only aged like wine in the era of nonstop.
I think I'm like 7 different people, y'all. Like, no lie. You got Bryte, you got Metaborn, Killer, you got the one that's on the sticks. Pause. You have Breezy, Light, Bright. You get me? That's 5. Or is that 4? I've lost count.
News and social media.
You got a lot of Brights, y'all.
Fear is a powerful tool. The other talking point in regards to Sensui that will be discussed just as much, if not more, ultimately is if he is right. This one's always going to be...
You know he right.
Because there are still people today that try and argue some sort of defense for characters like Griffith, but anyways.
Fuck no. Griffith?
Right in his ideals and actions. I'm going to do the annoying thing.
How would you argue Griffith was right? That nigga was a fucking lunatic.
Yes and no. Before I can answer that, though, there is one very crucial piece of information we get about the demon world and spirit world in Yu Yu Hakusho. And I'm sure Togashi wanted to expand on and eventually take the series in that direction, but unfortunately health got in the way. Something that was sadly removed from the anime, but really adds an extra touch to the entirety of the series, but Sensui in particular. The revelation that King Yama, Koenma's father, had been manipulating the data on demon activities to make them seem more evil.
What?
Brainwashing captured D-class demons to have them commit crimes in order to justify the underworld program. They can insist on the forced separation of the 2 realms. So yes, Sensui was right in terms of how he felt when it came to being deceived by the notion that he was fighting against evil on the behalf of good, and that humans are indeed capable of the most atrocious things imaginable. However, as I said in the illustration earlier, someone who can only view things in 2 colors is bound to wipe out more than necessary. Because in terms of ideals, Sensui is cathartic and appeals to that desire we all have for justice. But in practicality, Sensui is sadly a mind-broken man who has lost all faith in all of humanity.
We all
So
have,
focused
nigga.
and consumed by the evil humans are capable of, while discarding all of the good.
We're
It's
not
easy to
villain
say,
arts,
to hell
y'all.
with it, but the easiest choice is not always the most accurate one. The reason Koema picked Yusuke after Sensui was because of his ability to understand gray. In the world of Yu Yu Hakusho, it wasn't just good versus evil, but that both can reside regardless of the species. Somebody who could punish those who do wrong and not resort to genocide as the answer. Shinobu Sensui is a tragic tale, a pure soul that could not bear the world he lived in. But what is the purpose of a tragic character? As is said, it's extremely wise to learn from the mistakes of others. What is the lesson to take away from someone like this, as to not fall into the same extreme despair? Once again, the capacity for evil is but one ingredient in the human soul. It's easy to give in, that all of the negative sentiments consume you. It's important to be honest and have discussions about what is world.
That's
Pretending
true.
things are perfectly okay gets us nowhere, but in the pursuit of doing so, that we do not lose faith in the good that exists within our fellow man.
Real
As
shit.
for Sensui, he goes out in the most appropriate way possible, taken by his partner somewhere where his soul won't be judged. Shinobu, in all our time together, you never gave me a hint of the horrible pain you were suffering. But now, nothing is hidden.
Jeez, guys. Jeez. Oh my gosh.
Whoa.
What's that?
I just built a budgeting app with
Yeah, y'all, that was mad. That was a good one, y'all. That was mad crazy. I'm not even gonna lie. Like, I didn't expect for this episode to be this deep. I actually honestly thought it was gonna be like a back. Well, it was kind of a backstory, but I honestly thought it was gonna be like a kind of like an anime type of backstory. But I don't know, y'all. That was a good one. Honestly, it's some shit that we all need to think about right now, especially in this time and age. I think that's why the Masked Man. Shout out to him. I think that's why he dropped this, y'all, because whether we believe something is good and evil or not, y'all, honestly, I feel like we need to just communicate. It's just let's communicate because some of us could have, we could compromise. We can compromise. We human beings. We can compromise, y'all. We can figure this whole thing out together, y'all. Like together, we could solve these problems that we have amongst each other, amongst other people. But that's getting a little too deep for me. That ain't for this channel, y'all. You know what we do over here. You know what we do over here. So until the next time, man, peace, y'all. I love y'all. Thank y'all for coming and share this moment with me. And I'll holler at y'all next time.